Hello, welcome to the Pitch of Discontent. Owen back again for another guest episode. Very excited to have two lovely guests in the studio this evening. We have Dan and Elly from Mannequin Death Squad. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
You guys got your podcast voices on? Beautiful.
I'm trying to work out how my podcast voice will be. This is not that natural. Oh my gosh.
Robot mode.
I'll get it.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get in the groove.
Yeah.
Thank you both for coming in. We've been having a little bit of chit chat off mic, but I appreciate you making time to come in to the studio, especially Elly after work. I appreciate that.
You.
For people who might not be familiar with either of you and the project, let's do some quick introductions. Tell everyone what your deal is. Dan, do you want to start?
We're just a two-piece band called Mannequin Death Squad. We swap instruments, so I can't say I do one thing. Play guitar, drums, and sing, try to, and scream. So
Copy and paste for me.
That backspace, Elly.
Backspace, yeah. Control Alt or not
except
Control Alt.
you sing very well.
Yeah.
No, you sing well too.
I'm working
But
on it.
yeah, sing, scream, yell, guitar,
Yeah.
drum.
I want to take everything from everyone, and all the things you did. I won't forget it, and all the words you said. I won't forget them. Monsters don't change, they only you. Monsters don't change.
So the dynamic of like switching places, because as a two-piece, that's relatively easy. Gets a little bit more complicated when there's like 5 people on stage and you're all trying to like switch around.
Yeah.
But like, was that intentional from the very beginning, or is that something that happened kind of organically on stage one day and you were like, yeah, fuck it, let's just do that?
Yeah, it was kind of natural. Usually we're trying to figure out who answers what questions, but like,
Okay.
That's okay.
yeah, it was natural. Like it kind of came out of like whoever wrote a song, so it
Yeah.
wasn't like a gimmick or anything we came up with at the start. It was kind of like
It's first me on drums, which is funny. And
yeah,
you were on guitar.
yeah.
And now it's
Mm.
like in the live situation, I'm more on guitar.
So it's
and
like
I am on
reversed a bit.
drums.
Right.
But
Like I kind of learned how to play drums in this band. I like my dad's a drummer. He already taught me basic stuff, and I just always felt like I wanted to drum more. So I kind of used this band as a opportunity to learn drums. So Al taught me heaps more stuff. But basically whoever, like with the swapping thing, it's kind of whoever wrote the song is on guitar, and then the other one's on drums, and then we both write. So kind of naturally, like you learn each other's songs in the practice room, and that just stays the same live. So then we've just got this battle of who has more songs live, and then it makes it really
who's writing quicker.
makes it interesting
Yeah.
writing sets.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was going to say, like, writing a set list would need to have like a third dimensional kind of element to it of like,
Oh, yeah.
where will the
Yeah.
switches be?
We
Literally,
do
yeah.
a big solid line when we're about to swap. I'm
yeah,
like,
that's satisfying actually.
yeah. And then there's another big solid line because we swap twice in the set.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, we like, at the moment, I like to start the set and Dan likes to be on the drums.
Mm-hmm.
And then we like to finish like that too.
Yeah.
But we used to actually do it the other way around, which is so funny.
Did we?
We
I can't
did.
even remember.
I was like, I want to hide behind the cymbal. And I'd just be behind the cymbal and be like, ah.
Yeah.
And then you would be up. And then for some reason, you were like, I want to hide behind the cymbal.
Yeah.
So,
And it's kind of determines like how many songs have been written. Like, so I think Al's got a few more on guitar, so I've got to get back to work.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm just banished into the
I was
back
about
of
to
the
say,
stage.
like, you got to keep it like fairly balanced. You can't have it kind of lean too heavy in one direction.
No, it's Wild
yeah.
West.
It's all, yeah.
It's whoever could come up with the goods quickest.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
up
writing
front.
one now, yes.
Yeah. So Al's got a few points on me, but
Always got to keep
I'm having fun back there, so it's all good.
Yeah, sick. So I think to kind of kick things off, I wanted to talk about the origin of the band first up, before we get into the new record, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get you guys on the show in the first place. So in my research period earlier today, where I was like going through, finding notes, bits and pieces,
Detective.
I came
FBI
across
mode.
2 conflicting stories on how you met.
Do we need a lawyer?
So
Do we need a lawyer?
we're going to get to the bottom of this right now.
Oh, are we?
Stories.
So I found one story,
Okay.
one interview said that you both met at NMIT in
Mhm.
Melbourne while studying music business.
He knows too much. You know too much.
What was the other one?
That you met in a bar in Costa Rica and you were having a gap year and Ellie was recovering from a nasty divorce.
What? That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
figured
pretty
it was-
obvious which one is.
I was sitting here and
real.
I was like, I think it's the second one.
As you can see, no wedding finger,
Yeah,
no wedding
freedom
ring.
tour the world, you know.
Yeah.
Had to get her away from
It
that
was
one.
a juicy little tidbit. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, look, I got to get to the bottom of this.
When
Look.
did we say the Costa Rica thing?
Like 2019.
Yeah, look.
Mm.
So 6 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know what we were.
Do we leave it up to interpretation on that one, or
I don't know. What do you think?
Look, if I'm being fair and balanced as the host of the show, I think the first one is probably the most
Yeah,
likely
what,
one.
what do you want to believe?
But my heart yearns for the gap year and the
Yes.
nasty divorce
Yeah.
and the chance meeting in Costa Rica. That's a very
I know.
tale,
Like-
fairy tale kind of meeting.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I know. I don't even know how we both managed to be in
Life
Costa
is a
Rica at that
miracle.
time.
Life has miracles. you
Yeah.
know?
Have either of you been to Costa Rica?
No.
Nope.
Cool.
Yeah. But one day we hope, maybe. But
You just gave the answer away.
yeah. It was kind of like, I forgot we had a bit of an inside joke where we kept getting asked that question.
Yeah.
And then we kind of just got a bit bored and then we just
Yeah.
kind of started messing with it. And then we forgot. We've done so much more press since then.
Yeah.
So I really
Yeah.
wish we kept that going. I feel like there's a few more origin stories that you
That's
might
what
have
I'm-
missed.
That's what I'm hoping. And
There was
admittedly,
definitely more.
I didn't devote enough time to research because I got this kind of like niggling feeling, and I was like, maybe they're taking the piss, and maybe there's like
Maybe they're-
more of these out there.
There is.
So can I find them?
Yeah, they'll be like past page 4 on Google.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did. That origin story sounds so epic too, by
It
the way.
does.
I love it. Yeah,
Like a
we
villain
met.
character or something.
Yeah, we met doing music business, except we didn't really learn anything.
Mm.
So we just kind of like
Mm.
went
Yeah.
into it was like shared with like the music performance and
Right.
music production
Yeah.
students. So we kind of like just like snuck into like the music like the rehearsal rooms and just
Right.
kind of jammed out,
Are
made
we
all this
talking
noise.
SAE,
We lear-
JMC? What are we talking?
Not
NMIT.
NMIT. We were
Mm.
budgets.
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like we learned
good.
stuff,
A few things,
but also
not really.
I don't know. It was more like the vibe was like, kids, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't join the music
Don't
industry.
join the music industry because it sucks.
So-
that was
But-
like first day. That was initiation.
Yeah, Paige and I
Yeah.
both did a similar thing. Like I did an
Yeah.
SAE course straight out of high school and finished it and then just didn't use it for years.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
then eventually kind of picked up jobs and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, some of that stuff is actually useful.
Yeah,
Great.
some of it. Yeah,
And Paige did kind of a similar thing and then she went into doing like proper live sound for festivals and stuff like
yeah,
that.
sick.
And she definitely had the similar kind of experience of like the senior, I don't know, lecturers or whatever the
The-
fuck you call
yeah.
it. They're all just like, you'll never get a
Yeah.
job. Don't
Yeah.
do it.
But then if you
total
do
legends,
something,
bless 'em,
but then if
yeah.
you do something, like you get out of that bottom part and
Yeah.
you're doing something, they're like, oh my God, good job.
Yeah.
But before they're like,
They just want to break your spirit a little bit.
because they were broken
Yeah.
too,
Yes.
probably. It's a
Yeah.
hard, it's a tough place
It's a
to
cycle of violence.
the industry does it
Yes.
itself. I don't see why they needed to as well. That was kind of unnecessary.
be. We watched a lot of Eurovision as well.
Oh.
Oh, we did, didn't we?
Was that a
dunno.
formative
It's
experience?
like, it's like when the the teacher rolls in like at school the video and you just watch
Mhm.
it and it's a rainy day and they're like,
Yeah.
it was good.
So
I
that was the
have
whole
a-
course.
I've mostly ignored
still-
Eurovision, but we were in bed the other night and Paige was like, do you want to see the Australian, like, I think runner-up Eurovision thing? And it was like the milkshake guy.
Oh,
Have you seen this?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Hey,
It's a lot.
that's what you want to do.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
I feel like
Sure.
I'm really missing out on something special here.
It's just
We
a-
can we can have a look when we
Yeah.
go off mic. We'll
Yes.
we'll
All right.
educate you.
All right.
It's
I'm in.
like I'll say
You say
his
milkshake man?
I think it's called like the milkshake or like milkshake man. I honestly don't know.
was
Probably should have done some
was
research.
Eurovision
Nah.
always like
Gimmicky and tacky. I think
oh,
so.
was it?
I think its origin started off sincere,
Yeah.
and then they just gradually got more and more like grandiose with production.
okay.
And then they let in like a couple of goofy acts. And
Yeah.
I think
And
maybe
they just went pop. The
I'm kind of
ratings were
I'm
like,
spitballing here. Like I don't
Yeah.
even know if any of this is true, but I feel like they let one goofy act in. The goofy act won, and then everyone was like, "Oh,
I see.
you got to be
Yes.
goofy now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it just fucked it from there on in.
Yeah.
No.
fair.
Set a
Yeah.
precedent.
And they
So,
get in touch with their roots again.
yeah. Don't
Get-
fact
get
check
in
me on
touch
this.
with
I'm
your
sure
roots.
that's correct.
I just believe everything. It's fine.
I'm safe and won't break into people's heads. Hiding under your bed. Living in make-believe. What does it even mean? Break into people's heads. Hiding under your bed. Living in make-believe. What does it even mean? I don't mind living on my knees if it means that.
I was also seeing some stuff come up in my research about kind of your influences prior to forming the band. And I saw some stuff that said that you were more into metal, Dan, and Ellie, you were into grunge, 50s pop, and quote, other weird shit. So,
I hate my past songs.
care to elaborate?
It's not that weird. Sometimes I like to listen to like classical music in the car
not
when
weird
it's
shit.
storming, and then I'll
That's
listen to
lovely.
like French music, and I just want to feel different.
I'm probably the one listening to the weird shit. to be
Maybe,
fair.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
weird is like you'd listen to our music and you probably wouldn't expect that I'd listen to everything, I
Yeah.
guess. But
You're listening to like Edith Piaf and
Edith
the Beach
Piaf and
Boys,
Beach
which is
Boys,
like
yeah.
amazing music. And
Man,
I'm
I
listening
grew
to
up on
Mr.
the Beach
Bungle.
Boys.
okay,
Beach Boys
cool.
are great.
See, I think the weird shit, I just put it there as a disclaimer. Like,
Yeah.
hey guys, like I don't always listen to Pantera. Like
Yeah.
there is other stuff.
Like I have
In
my
the
credible
universe.
self,
But is
but
there?
I also have like
Yeah,
Other
yeah,
stuff.
and
Yeah.
like there's some sneaky pop tunes in there.
yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? My dad was kind of exclusively a country guy,
I
and
thought you
he's
were gonna stop at CUNT.
Uh,
Oh,
it always comes out.
glad you kept going.
Yeah.
'cause it's
and
sorry, I was like,
I feel like I should have
whoa,
done it. That was a better bit.
It's a bombshell.
No, he's an American guy, and he only listened to like corny American country, like
Yeah.
Okay.
like Tim McGraw and like Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
Stuff that is sick, but
I don't know
super,
the names,
super
but
corny.
they definitely sound legit for
sound-
that genre.
Just picture
Yeah.
guys in like tucked in shirts, blue
Yeah.
jeans,
Yeah.
posing on an
yeah.
album cover.
Yeah.
That's the type of shit.
Like Leonard Skinner style.
Kind of, yeah, but like
But-
way more Christian and like
Yeah.
wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
I'm with
good
you.
too.
And then my mother was like exclusively like a 70s pop disco kind of
Ooh.
chick.
Oh, wow, what a crossover.
So like
Whoa.
weird kind of origins, but all of that stuff is like very much in my bones. Like
Yeah.
I
Cool.
love Phil Collins, and like
Yeah.
maybe that's my
Yeah.
like other weird shit.
Yeah.
You know, love the Top Gun soundtrack. It's
Yeah.
flawless.
See, there you
Yeah.
go. That's weird as fuck.
Yeah, this is
No,
getting more
I'm just-
niche. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So how did you guys? I guess like once you meet in music business classes, you decide to form a band. You've got these disparate influences. When you're having that initial conversation of like, all right, what do we write? What do we play? What are we doing? How did you kind of like bridge the gap here?
I guess like I mean, yeah, like I was predominantly listening to metal and stuff like a lot of
Yeah.
Megadeth and
But you
System of a
crossed
Down, but
over.
there's a lot of crossover. Like
Mm.
I love all the grunge stuff as well. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of Alice in Chains, Soundgarden,
Yeah.
You know when you-
Nirvana, obviously. But like there was that rock and roll crossover
Yeah.
with all that.
You know
like,
when you meet someone and you like, you pick the influences that they like that you like,
Mhm.
like the crossovers. So
Yeah.
Mm.
you know, we're like, oh, both like Led Zeppelin, tick. Both like Pixies, tick. Both like
Yeah.
Metallica, tick. Like I don't know, just
Yeah.
there's more than that. But
Yeah.
is that yeah?
I was kind of like, I love Pixies now, but I didn't really know the Pixies. So
Mm.
it's kind of like just saying that to impress you. but-
Oh.
This
Hey,
is it.
well,
This is
I didn't rea- I
podcasting. This is
didn't
the,
even-
this is the real shit.
I didn't even know who Metallica were.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm joking.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, I know
Nah,
that's a
I'm-
lie.
I'm joking.
They're awesome. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was like just for fun at the start. It wasn't like let's like start a band and take over the world. It's kind of like
Melvins.
let's get out of this stupid class and like make some noise because everyone's just doing jazz, which is also great.
Mm.
But like
Yeah.
No shade to jazz, but
Yeah,
sometimes you want to get loud.
yeah. I was actually
Yeah.
listening to a lot of Frank Zappa at that time though, but
Ooh.
yeah, and it kind of came out really punky, grungy, noisy, Melvin's kind of style.
Yeah, yeah.
And which
Did sound
I don't know
Melvin
if we
themed
both
it.
listened to, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It just kind of crossed over really well, and then
We still listen
we
to
kept
some
doing it.
stuff.
We were in other bands as well at the same time, and we just kind of jammed every now and then. And then eventually, I think we did decide to kind of like, we've got some songs, put them together in the room, and let's go. Okay, let's maybe play a show
Yeah.
for fun, nothing serious.
Yeah.
And then kind of worked. It's kind of cool.
Were you always going to be a two-piece? Or was there ever a conversation about kind of like broadening it up to other members, other contributors?
Fuck other people. No.
Hell is other people.
Well, that's enough coffee for you.
No,
Ella.
I've had 2 sips.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's always stayed 2 people. We have always played with the idea of adding more, just
Okay.
because
We
it's
did
a lot of
jam with a
work.
few people.
Yeah, we've
actually.
jammed with a couple and like adding the bass player kind of thing. But I don't know, it's a lot of it works what we're doing. Everyone seems to
Yeah.
like it.
It is
Makes
more
it
work
easier. It's a lot of
with
work though,
people.
but it's even
Oh,
more
no,
work.
sorry, I was saying there's more work with other people. I
Yeah,
found.
true.
Like, it was easy you and I bouncing off together.
Yeah, we're on the same like wavelength, I think, with writing and what we want out of songs and what like
And how we communicate that.
yeah, it just clicks. And then like I've been in a lot of bands and it's not super rare, but it's hard to find. So it's
Yeah.
like we don't want to like jeopardize that at all by putting in another person.
Yeah.
I really like what we've got going on, but it's a lot of work because we're hitting pedals all the time and we're cutting all this gear, and it's not too many pedals, but they've got a splitter, so it splits the signal into
Yeah.
a bass as well, which does that. So sometimes you fantasize about not having to do so much, but then it's it's a cool little unit. What we
Yeah.
do, I reckon. So yeah. But yeah, new album, there's a lot of layers. So we have been toying with getting like maybe just a lead guitarist up for a song or two.
Okay.
We can hit it with a sample pad, but it's not as cool,
Not quite the same.
It sounds good, I think, but yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be less worry to have someone jump up, but
Yeah.
just
Fair.
as a little
Well, we can pull it all off ourselves.
Cutaway.
But like, we're trying to move into more like putting on a big show, kind of production wise and
Sure.
stuff, rather than just gigs. So that was kind of an idea, but we didn't get to do it in time because with 2 people doing everything is a bit nuts. So
Yeah, for sure.
full DIY, it's like time consuming, so we didn't get that done. But that's the
Yeah.
plan. Like we would like to
I mean, there's
sub in some crew.
that's like a goal to kind of shoot for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the perfect segue. Thank you for hosting the show better than I do
You're
myself.
welcome.
Let's talk about the new record. So, sophomore album, Wise and Dangerous, came out early April this year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys just wrapped up the album launch tour a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah, sorta. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
we did, and then like we sold out Northcote, so we added another show.
That's right.
So it's like
I mean, that's a positive though.
That's
We're
great.
like
That's
happy,
awesome.
happy about that.
so it's kind of over, but it's not. It's
Okay.
it's like
Yeah.
the extra
You
little
got a
Yeah.
little quota there.
and milking it,
We
Yeah,
always
it's fun.
punish ourselves a little bit more. But
Yeah.
it's not punishment, but it sort of is because the next day we fly
Yeah.
out to Europe. So
That's right. It's the send off.
hectic.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just brand it that way to make ourselves feel better.
Yeah. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Looks cool
we're
on
not
the
going to be
poster.
tired at all.
Yeah.
No.
What's the response been like to the album material? I know there's a couple of singles on there that are fairly old that you guys have been working on for a couple of years. And I get the sense that you've been working on the material for the record for a while.
Yep.
So what's it like to finally have it out and have people hearing it and, fucking with it?
So good.
Awesome.
It's like
really.
because yeah, like you said, we're working on it for so long.
Relieving.
Some of the songs go back to like lockdown, basically.
Right.
So like they're I don't know how many, like 3 of them or something were written during that time and demoed and
Yeah. Or just after.
I
Or
saw like
just
the video
after.
for Monsters came out like 2023, mid 2023.
Yeah. What are we
Yeah.
saying?
That's
been-
2025.
That's been kicking around for like almost 2 years.
yeah. So that's yeah.
I'm happy with how that song's gone, I guess, with our
Yeah.
fans.
It's
and
one of my
stuff.
favorites. So that's
Oh,
why I
thanks.
thought
Yeah.
It seems
fresh
to
off the
be
dome.
Sweet.
But-
seems
Yeah.
to be the song people want to hear at the show.
Okay.
So it's like
Yeah. It came out really well, I reckon, like production
I'm
wise.
really. It's
But
my
yeah, that was the
favourite
first
too.
single, I guess, wasn't it? I suppose. I'm guessing.
Yeah, it
Memory?
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had like a bunch that we're already like working on, and then so we had a few like we did in lockdown. We kept all the vocals from the demos
Mhm.
in lockdown. We demoed them at home. full tracks,
Yeah.
and then we loved the vocals so much because it had such like an emotion in there. And we went back in the studio later with everything, and then re-drumming to my old demoed, terrible non-click track.
Yeah. But it's kind of
tracks,
worth it.
but we kept it and we love it. So it's got a vibe. And then over the years we added a few more, and then like I think in the last couple of years on tour, like we managed to do ones like Blueberry Hill and
Yeah, that was
Bite
recorded
You
in
and
like
stuff like that.
in France or Switzerland.
Yeah.
On tour.
I think
That was like
Blueberry,
the last song to be done.
Yeah,
Blueberry
wow.
was the last one, and it was like recorded in 3 different countries.
Yeah, we
wasn't it?
said to our mixer, Brent Quirk, we're really sorry. I sent him a video of me sitting in like a music venue before our gig recording vocals in Switzerland, and I was like, I'm sorry, this is a shitty mic. I'm sitting on a crate in the back of like a kitchen of like this venue.
Yeah.
And he just went, oh man.
He's like,
I'm gonna have to fix
really
this
making him
stuff.
work for it.
Yeah.
But he did a brilliant
And then
He did
was
a
it
great
like
job.
you did like another part of it in Nice, was it?
in France,
In
yeah.
France,
Yeah.
and then
France.
another one in like Melbourne or England or something. But
Mm.
yeah, so it's hodgepodge throughout the last few years
Yeah.
and stuff, and a lot of the lyrical contents from like last few years of
Mm.
touring and
Yeah.
other things and other people you run into, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
half trauma dump, half empowerment.
Mm.
That's kind of the sense I got from
Yeah.
the promotional material around the record is that, like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's overtly like political or kind of hitting any one kind of like social angle, but just like a general frustration
Mm.
and vent
Yep.
Mm.
at various things.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
people do. A very human response
Yeah.
to everything.
Yeah, totally.
You go through a lot as a band, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like that same theory of the Instagram thing, like, yay, look at me, I'm on the beach, I'm having a great life, and
Yeah.
then behind the scenes you don't sort of see what goes on tour and
Mm.
people you meet and things that happen and barriers you have to like break through to
Yeah.
do things.
All the different terrible load-ins aren't on the tour highlight reel. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yes.
there's,
And
there-
it
there's
even-
little realities that are
Yeah.
hidden from people.
and it's even like
even more than that.
it's even deeper than
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't care about the tour
like-
load-ins. This is like shit happens.
Yeah, there's some
But,
nasty people out there. But it's like that long way to the
Yeah.
top song with the
Mm.
lyrics. Like all of them. It's so true.
But then you write awesome songs, and
Born.
I don't know, we get to listen to our album now and enjoy it. So
Yeah.
it's not like we're like spiteful that
It's
these
so
things
cool.
happened. It's just like it was our way to get them out, I
Yeah,
guess.
I think definitely caught some cool energy and emotions in this album.
Yeah.
And then that's why we felt so weird releasing it.
Yeah.
Because we were listening to it a lot over the last couple of years. Like
Yeah.
we've had like mixing pretty much all of it except for Blueberry like the last 2 years or so on and off,
Wow.
and sharing it with friends and getting it all right.
Yeah.
And I guess we kind of got really attached to it, and then coming up to release day, which kept getting pushed back because it was just getting everything right, and we were busy.
And
And
it's meant to come out at the end of last year, right?
Yeah, that was the idea, and
You're
then like
too good of a detective.
yeah,
Well, we featured it on the show, and I
Yeah.
remember like
Thank you, by the way.
saying at the time, "You're welcome." I remember saying like, "Oh, the record's going to be out like November or early December," and then it wasn't, and I was like, "Oh, well, now I look foolish, don't I?"
nah, we're just keeping everyone on their toes, you know.
Yeah.
as a
We
little
were
bit of a
also like,
tease.
who's gonna know? Do we have fans?
Pretty funny,
But-
yeah. We just used to like, no one cares anyway, so like we're just kind of
Yeah.
dealing with it. But then actually, like people
just
where is it? I'm like,
yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
Could not
shit.
keep up. So that's why. But yeah.
yeah, that's what you get with the DIY label.
So tired of living on a bender, never can remember where the hell I've been. Shove, push, shove, push, shove. Been looking for you since September, never can remember where the hell I am. Shove, push, shove, push, shove. Everybody's moving to south.
I think it's an important point though, Dan, that like you can get very attached to this stuff, and I'm not sure if you guys are kind of perfectionists like me, but like
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
it becomes really hard to
definitely.
let go of
Yeah.
something because there's always like that little bit of extra that you can put into it,
Yeah,
and then
Mm.
you just keep doing that, and you never actually
Yeah.
finish the thing because it's never
Yes.
quite perfect.
It's
Or-
not perfect.
No,
well,
Even-
I reckon
even
this
as-
album.
yeah,
I reckon
you're
this
right.
album's like pretty close to like perfect for my taste.
For
but
me,
like
it's
the first album was like, there's things like we wish could do more, but we just had to
Yeah.
get it out. But this
Yeah.
one, it's like we spent so long.
This one's
And,
closer.
and Brent, bless his heart, like he
Shout out to
produced
Brent.
it,
Shout out to
with
Brent,
us and
yeah.
mixed it. Like
Yes.
there's a lot of mix edits
Yeah.
and a lot of like layers and
Yeah.
melodies and
Yeah.
crazy stuff. And he was so good
Yeah.
in making that sound. But so it was more like this one. It was more like emotional, sending it out in case it wasn't about like it not being perfect. It was more about like we love it so much and it like we feel connected to it. Sounds so lame, but like
That doesn't sound lame at all.
we're
That's
worried.
art.
We were kind of like worried that no one like I actually like shed a tear over it. It was really stupid, but like
That's not
I was like, what if like people don't appreciate this as much as me? And now I'm like, I've just like given it out to the world, and it's like
I mean,
it was a really strange
I
moment.
don't think that's stupid at all. If you
Yeah.
put like blood, sweat, and tears into something over like a 2-year period,
yeah,
a little bit of
longer.
anxiety on the
Yeah.
cliff of like, does anyone actually give a fuck?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
perfectly natural.
Even just no one listening to it would hurt. And that's what happens to like most music.
Yeah.
right?
Oh
Like,
yeah, totally.
So we're lucky that people are listening. Like
Yeah.
the amount of people that we have listening, we're lucky to
Yeah.
Oh,
have
it's the
them
best.
listening. So
It turned out well,
Appreciate.
Yeah.
basically. But like,
I've had
yeah.
all of these thoughts about the podcast because I
Yeah.
put time and effort into editing and
Yeah.
doing all this sort of stuff, and like, you know, some things do better than others, and
Yeah.
you get in your own head about like, oh, why do people
Yeah.
not like that one, but they like that one?
Yeah.
Ah.
It's
And,
sleepless
yeah.
nights that no one will ever know
you
Yeah.
just don't
about.
know.
Like they don't know
Mm.
the amount you put in.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but
Mm.
we've actually been quite blessed with the response. But I expect it because not in a weird, arrogant way, but I think the songs are pretty cool. So like I was like, okay, I feel like people will dig this, but
Mm.
Yeah.
I was just like, I hope the emotion comes across in it. That's the thing you can't predict if
Yeah.
they actually catch on to like
Yeah.
maybe what you're singing about, or at least like there's like an emotion in there that they're just like, it's a cool song, whatever. But it's like I used to like look at like sit down, get a vinyl, and read all the lyrics and like
Mhm.
go like, oh, what were they like? What are they talking about, or where do they come from? Where were they?
Yeah.
What happened? Like trying to like dig deep, like full like detective mode, like
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that's the stuff that I really wanted out of this album for people to do. So
Yeah.
that's what I appreciate.
The
And I
lyrics.
think that kind of appreciation too is kind of going away and is kind of like a lost art. I think that
I
this kind
reckon.
of deep engagement with art. It's not just music. It's like film and TV and various
Yeah.
things. Like
Yeah.
everything is so like short form, digestible,
Easily
Oversaturated.
like passive,
oversaturated. Yeah,
passive kind of content, right?
Yeah.
Like you just keep
Yeah.
flicking through to the next thing
Yeah.
rather than like sitting with something for a while and being like
Yeah.
digging into it.
Yeah.
So
It's going back. I feel like it could be as well.
I
Because
feel like we're at a
always
bit of a
does.
tipping point because
Yeah.
like
Always
does,
there's so
but-
much
Extremities.
shit out there. People are kind of like sick
Yeah.
of
It's
everything.
so
they want the long
oversaturated at the
form now,
moment.
probably.
Yeah.
So
In all
Yeah.
all like music and like movies and content in general, because like social media, it's like everything's oversaturated. So it's like
Mm.
in like it's great because now everyone's got access to like be
Sure.
creative, which is awesome, but also it's harder to break past that, and so it's hard to like get people's attention, but it's also hard as a music fan or a film fan or to find
Yeah.
that new favorite thing
Totally.
to connect with. So it's
easy
like
and hard at the same time.
yeah,
hey?
oversaturation's a thing at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a bit hard to
I mean, it's one of the reasons we
Go into
started
it.
this show was to kind of
Yeah.
like put the spotlight on stuff that, you know,
Yeah.
that I enjoy and that, you know, I wanted to show Paige. And even before we started the podcast, like it was a newsletter that I was sending to people and I was like reading it out to her.
That's
How
it.
cool.
So, like,
That's
that-
so cool.
But
I
like
love it.
it
That's
started
awesome.
from that idea of like, here's some cool shit that I found that I think other people would really enjoy.
Yeah, totally.
And that art of curation, like actually taking time to
Yeah.
invest in something in other people's art,
Yeah.
you know, I
Like
think it's
a
really,
local community.
yeah, absolutely.
curation, which
It's
is
really
is
important.
cool.
I think that's probably like a pretty simple solution to it. And I think it's also great. Like, I don't want to just be complaining about like so many bands. Like, I think it's great
This
because
is
Yeah.
a podcast. You can
It's good.
complain all you want.
no, but I literally like believe it. Like, I think it's awesome because I'm always like looking through like the Spotify playlists.
Mm.
There's like so many bands. You're like, what the hell? But then like you do find really cool stuff, so it's
Yeah.
great.
Mm.
And then, but yeah, if you have those like local curators like yourself, like just go like shining light on different things that you might miss. It's like that's bringing back that old school community,
Yeah.
which I think it's rad. So
Yeah.
that's how you look at it, I guess.
I think
Yeah.
so. You mentioned the first record, Dan, and again, you're hosting the show better than I am by moving us from point to point. So thank you.
No worries.
What was the conversation like between you two about new material after the first record came out? When the discussion started about like, we're going to do another record, going to do another album, did you have a particular sound in mind? Did you have a particular theme or idea in mind? How are you trying to kind of like one up what you'd done before?
We were talking about it last night of like when we decided it was going to be an album.
Okay.
Like after doing the first one, we were so stoked to even get one album done. I was like, wow, we've done
That's
an
a big
album.
achievement. Most
Yeah.
bands don't record a record.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes. And like, I think that one came out pretty cool. This one, I guess after we had a few songs, we'll go, okay, cool. I think this is starting to look like an album, which is super exciting to go, whoa, actually do a second one. But yeah, I don't know. We do have like a lot of like a pop kind of influence and kind of like a style that's always on the edge of our sound that we're always wanting to put in more without it being lame. So
Still got to
like,
keep that edge a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think, yeah, I like the balance, but I guess like we had a lot more like poppy songs, for lack of a better word. And like wanted to do like level up, like make a bit more mature sound, a bit more cohesive in throughout the whole album. But lyric, I don't know. I think we just wanted to put more emotion into it.
Yeah.
Stuff like more real album. Like first album's just like a collection of songs that you've had from the start of your band.
You
So
don't know who you are.
yeah,
what you
so
are.
this one was really cool. You kind of could call it a concept album, I reckon.
Interesting. Same all.
I mean,
That's
it's,
yeah.
if you
Really?
you want, it's not like we intended it to be, but it's become one. But but it's like, I don't know. We wanted it to be like, yeah, a bit more authentic and true and emotional and yeah, I don't know. Sonically, more like a rock album rather than a punk album.
Okay.
I guess, but it's still got a mix of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really think about what genre. We kind of just came up with these songs and went, is it going to fit? And some of them weren't going to fit, but we were like, you know what? This is what's coming out. Let's just put it on there as it's coming out.
Yeah. That's what I think is one of the strengths of your band is that you don't really have a particular like genre kind of label, like kind of genre agnostic. Like you can play with punk bands, rock bands, indie bands, like
literally,
kind
It's
of
confusing
whatever.
for people sometimes, but
That's the tricky bit.
Yeah.
It's like being like playing with all these different types of bands and then like having all these styles, but there's like it just can like alienate every single like fan.
Yeah.
They like one song and then they hate the rest. So it's like
but then
tying
like
that together, it's pretty hard.
then
But
like you get these super fans and they like and they love it. So it's just about, I guess, us finding those people that gel with it,
that are in your pocket and
Yeah.
kind of there for all of it.
Yeah. Sort of feel like we're carving our own like genre or path in a way because
For
we
sure.
don't fit in any cool club necessarily,
Yeah.
and we never sort of have. So
yeah, we've always been left to our own devices. Like
I'm not sure.
never like we've kind of just always been like self-released and self-managed and didn't like have a big community to just be part of and have an automatic kind of audience, which is like awesome for some people. It's great because then it's just like instant community, but we've really had to build it.
But to do that, we'd have to change the way we play and the genre we play in, and it wouldn't be genuine.
That's right.
So we'd have to go, okay, we'll write this genre because we'll have a community and we'll have instant fans and I don't know.
That wouldn't be true
it
to what
wouldn't
we
feel
like.
True.
Like I still listen to what we do. Like it's what I would like to listen to. Like bit of different stuff and throughout the album, you know.
I think
like,
that's the most authentic thing you can do, right? Like I've seen a bunch of musicians that I respect talk about like, you know, like writing for themselves and being like, you know, I'll listen to my own music. I don't give a fuck. Like I think it rocks.
Yeah,
and like why would you why would you make it if you didn't think it was sick?
If you're not listening to it in the car back, like you shouldn't release it because you have to like it.
I feel like that's a pretty big red flag, you know. If you're listening to your own shit and you're like, I'm gonna turn that off.
No, you would be in the car with that.
Probably not good. It's probably not good enough, eh? Like
exactly.
That's the standard.
Yeah.
It's going to if we do a third album, it'll be like, if we don't like it, it's not gonna go out.
I listen to so many voice memos, just voice notes of like song ideas, like vocal ideas, and you're just like, it's gonna be sick, and like you got to back yourself, otherwise it's not gonna. I don't know.
It's gonna be fun. You gotta get excited by it.
No one's gonna like it.
Yeah, if you don't like it, then probably other people won't. They might pretend to like it, just be nice, but it's not going to be like actual like get obsessed over something.
No, you've got to be excited about what you do.
Yeah.
On that note of voice memos, Ellie, I had Chris from Private Function on the show, as we were talking about before.
Yeah.
And he's definitely got like this chaotic like notes app voice memo kind of collection of just like random ideas for like
man.
all the crazy shit that band gets up
I
to.
think I've heard that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just getting him to just read stuff off at
cool.
random. But like I feel
That's
like
hectic.
that's
So
like
cool.
classic like band person behavior of just like
Yeah.
throwing down every
Yeah.
idea into
Yeah.
the notes app and then being like, I'll get back to this later.
Yeah.
And it makes sense of some of this.
Yeah.
But
I've got sometimes I'm in the car driving and I have a lyric idea. It's just a lyric idea. And poor Siri, I'm like, hey Siri, take shut up.
Oh,
Hey
just got
Siri,
activated.
take a note. Oh, she'll say yes. And then she's like, yes, what would you like to say? And I'm like, I hate myself and like I want to wrap myself in foil and then I don't know, it's something really depressing and Siri's like, yes, I have just made a note about you hating yourself and being depressed and wanting to wrap yourself in. And I'm like, thanks Siri. But it just sounds so dumb.
Siri's
Has it
just got
all
PTSD
these- she's
by
got
this point.
PTSD.
has it ever transcribed something and got it wrong, but what it got wrong was better than what you thought?
I hope
Like,
that happens.
does Siri have some lyrics on the new record?
Maybe
Is what I'm
she
saying.
does. Maybe she's like, bitch, this is how it should be. Like,
This is how AI is taking over.
That's right. That's how they
Yeah.
sneak it in.
Albums.
that's
Yeah.
a good idea. I don't know.
Feeding
I'm
the
going to troll
machine.
through this whilst you guys
Yeah.
chat because there's something in here.
Yeah.
10 years of pain and suffering. Destroy your world as fast as lightning. Would you like this memory? Or will it bring you to your knees? Call the button and kids are laughing. Yeah, you don't even care. Yeah, you don't even care.
Let's talk about some of the guest features on the record. You guys have played a bunch of shows with DZ Deathrays, but they're on the record. And then you also have Emmy Mack from RedHook, friend of the show. How
cool.
did those come about? What was that like, collaborating and having other people kind of enter your closely guarded creative space?
True. Yes.
Uh,
The
we've,
gatekeepers of our own band.
Yeah.
we've always been a fan of DZ Deathrays. I don't know
Yeah.
if you
It goes way back to
listen
like
to their stuff,
the
but
start of
yeah.
our
They're
band.
very, very kind of similar to what you guys do in that kind
Yeah.
of like, they're a two-piece kind of band, at least in the beginning.
Yeah.
And very much kind of in that genre agnostic kind of sound, like not quite a punk band, not quite a rock band, not quite
Stuff
an
you can
indie
sing
band.
to.
like-
Yeah,
yeah. So I could definitely see that as like a natural kind of like fit for you guys.
It's interesting because I never thought of what genre they were. I just liked their songs.
Yeah,
Totally.
same.
So I
I,
think
I
they're just
actually thought
fans
we
of
didn't
songs.
fit them,
Yeah.
to be honest. And now I'm like, oh, the song worked. Like,
Yeah,
it
like-
does kind of fit.
I guess back to the genre thing really quickly. I don't even think
Sorry.
about it, and it's like only in interviews you're forced to think about it.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but it's like we just like songs, and then I guess in every different genre there is, if the song's good, I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I love it rather, and yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, but with them, yeah, we've always been a fan of DZ, and it's especially going way back, we'd be like cranking Black Rat like in the car going on to our first
Huge
shows.
record.
Yeah, it's so sick, and we love all the other stuff too. But yeah, like to be able to like even like call them mates or just hang out with them is awesome. But with this album, we thought it would be cool to get some collabs. Like the songs were kind of already finished. Like we could have gotten away with like not doing them, but we just kind of want to add some flavor and make it fun and just go.
Yeah.
Make some connections and just
Yeah.
like creatively, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like just
try it out.
just like work with some
Try
other people
collaborating
because we're
out.
just two people. That's a bit lonely after a while, but we love it. Yeah, so it's really
That's
cool.
a good way to put it.
Yeah, it creatively like it's nice to like play like write with other people and play. But
Yeah.
we just DM'd him on Insta. We're just like who do we want?
Classic
Like who would be
DM
cool? You get your list of your dream artists. It's just like crazy, and you're like, oh, let's hit up DZ, and then.
Yeah.
We did, and Shane was like keen.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, like checked out the song. He was like, yeah, sweet. And I was
He
like,
sent back
what?
a recording that he did like I think 2 days later or something. Like it was
Wow,
really quick.
It's
That's
instant.
crazy.
It was
First-
really quick.
First go, he
Yeah.
like just did this. We were just like, yeah, we want you to do these parts, and then he's like, oh, can I tweak like these few lyrics? And I was like, yeah, that's better
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And then did it, and then
I think
like,
it was
it's amazing.
just a demo as well. He just did it like really like
Rough,
sloppily,
just
and
on
I
the
was like,
fly.
"Sounds great." And he was like, "You sure?" And then we were
That's
like,
it.
yeah, it sounds good. We'll just keep it.
I mean, you've
So
recorded
it's-
vocals in like a kitchen overseas,
Uh,
so I mean, you're like, yeah, that's fine.
I'm
we'll
all
take
for
it.
like
We'll
the
take
take.
It.
If the
Honestly,
take's good
yeah, we have the
and there's
technology.
magic in it, just record it anywhere.
Yeah.
Like you can
Yeah.
fix it in post.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
It
I think
doesn't need to
spontaneity
be.
is like such a cool thing to
Yeah.
like be able to kind of capture stuff in the
Yeah.
moment, and like
Yes.
if there's a couple of little errors and squeaks and pops or whatever, like
Yeah.
keep it
Yeah,
in, keep
yeah.
it raw.
It's
you
like
know?
performance. You got to get it right.
Yeah.
You can't. It's really hard to recreate. You
Performance is
often
tough.
can't.
Mm.
But yeah. So he just smashed it out first go, and then sent it back, and we're like, awesome. And we gave it to our mixer,
Yeah.
and it
it's
was
really
like,
cool
yeah,
to hear.
bang. Like that was
Really cool
easy,
to hear.
and it's just become a cool kind of friendship, and we
Yeah.
got to tour with him around
Yeah.
Victoria, and then we're going to the UK with him. So
Sick.
that was great. It's already gone further than we thought.
Have
we
you
could have
guys
wanted
like
to.
collabed on stage? Like got him to come up
We-
and do
Not
the
yet.
bit?
I think that's going
That's
to
in
happen.
that's in the works.
It's in the works.
Okay.
Because just touring around, it was always like
Yeah.
you're always running late, and you're always loading
Sure.
in, and then by the
Yeah.
time you're in there, because
No
like
time.
they're like pretty much sure they're indie now, so like they're
Mm.
running things themselves as
Okay.
well. So it's like
It's a lot of work.
the logistics of running a tour yourselves, and
heaps
then
of
like
work.
roadieing yourself as well is crazy.
And
So
those shows were part of that regional run that they did, right? And
Yeah.
they had like heaps of dates.
epic run,
Huge run.
crazy. Yeah, respect. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're part of that in the Vic run with Drunk Moms, which is cool.
That's right.
But there's
That's
never
fun.
quite enough time to get the collab on stage. But we're gonna. I think
We're gonna
we're
work on it.
do
'cause
it in,
one person
UK.
asked, so we were like, "Oh,
People.
now we're gonna."
Okay.
There's a few, yeah,
A
but
few maybe.
we want it to be
but-
good, you know. So
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fun.
it was all very rushed. So
Yeah.
UK, and then
Remember the lyrics.
then Emmy, like yeah, you like we want to get like a
Yeah,
girl
it'd be
on
cool to
that
get
thing.
a female as well.
Yeah.
Like just to balance it out. And there's so many badass females in the music industry, especially
Absolutely.
in Australia.
Smashing it at the moment.
Yeah. So we're
Yeah.
just like looking, and we were like, huh, Emmy Mack, that could be really cool because
Yeah.
it's not exactly our genre.
No. But again,
And
to
we
the
were
genre
like,
to the genre conversation, like they don't really have a genre either. They kind of do
Yeah,
a little bit of everything, you know?
they
like
do. Yeah,
they got some heavier stuff, they got some more super poppy
True,
stuff,
yeah.
like
yeah,
very
exactly.
much
yeah.
kind of just like doing their own thing. And I think like that's kind of like spiritually aligned with what you guys are doing.
Well,
just
yeah,
like you're doing your own
that's what we
thing.
thought, and like
spiritually.
we do like we do actually think about genre sometimes because we're like, oh, let's see, like because
Yeah.
they do their own thing, but they're also within that like emo,
Yeah.
rock, like metal
Hard-
kind of
hard-
hardcore
thing?
kind of
Yeah.
scene. So I was like, let's test the waters and see if any of those fans dig
Yeah.
it because like that's a pretty cool scene. So
Yeah.
and they and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
worked. Yeah, I reckon she laid down some vocals and it was epic.
Yeah.
Like,
That's also, it's good to like
we just DM'd her too. Like,
try and get
yeah.
yourself out to different
That's how I got her on
genres.
the show. So
Oh, well, there
it
you
works.
go.
Is that
Yeah.
what your connection is? She's been
Yeah.
on the show.
yeah.
The
So
fancy
cool.
DM.
I had to get over like the initial fear I had of just like being that person that slides into other people's DMs and just like
you got to do it.
just be like, oh well, I'm that guy now.
Yeah.
So fuck it. Let's pivot now. Let's talk about the touring stuff that you guys have been up to. So over the last few years, in the lead up to the album release, you've done a bunch of crazy shit. Let's talk about the
Feels like that, yeah.
Suicidal Tendencies support run. Dan, you're wearing some merch here because you knew
Yeah.
that question was coming.
I did. This was like.
Or he
planned.
wanted to place the question.
That's
I
right.
just haven't taken it
You
off
incepted
since.
it
Got a
into my
brand for it,
mind.
no.
Yeah.
I just haven't taken this off since the tour.
Yeah, you actually really haven't, but
No, I have.
How was that
different
run for
story.
you guys? I mean, they're a
Oh, it's-
legendary band.
Well, yeah, it was
we're
just
just
ridiculous.
shocked to get it. Like
Yeah. So
you
cool.
told me we got it because you were on the emails quicker than I could be, and I was like, "What? What, yo, what?" No,
You didn't say it like that.
No, I didn't say it like that, but I was just like,
There was a lot of shock involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah, we got asked like the week before.
yeah,
Mm,
Like there's a full sold out Australian run.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 cap venues. You're just like,
that's sick.
whoa. And so
it's crazy.
pretty much biggest shows we've done at that point.
Mm.
So yeah, like we got asked the week before, so we're like, yes, obviously.
Mm.
It's like
Hard to say no to
yeah,
that.
you can't
No,
move them out to
we
make that
moved
happen.
life around
Of course,
to,
you
to make
yeah.
that happen.
yeah,
Like,
you would.
it was
Book flights like a week out, like move work, like
Right.
which is like yeah,
it was
quit my
quite
job for that, but
tough because the flights we could afford were
so
like
expensive.
really expensive. So we didn't sleep often. We'd play the show, go straight to the airport, maybe sleep for
6
like
a.m.
half
flights.
an hour, and then just
Brutal.
fly to like Brisbane or whatever and like play again. So we were pretty loopy.
We're
Yeah.
averaging like 1 or
Pretty
2 hours
loopy.
sleep for like 5 days straight.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
without drugs.
yeah,
'cause
but the
we
highs
really do
were
them.
yeah,
So
the highs
That's-
was
we don't,
high,
but-
so
Yeah.
it was worth
And what
it.
was the response like from that kind of audience? Because like they're an established band.
Yeah.
They have people in their pocket, and those
Yeah.
people have been in that pocket for like 30 years.
Oh
So-
yeah, they're
Yeah.
like. Well, I was just kind of like so excited and maybe / naive because
Yeah, we were.
I was just like, hell yeah, let's go. And then in hindsight, I'm like, that's a scary audience. Like,
Yeah.
if there was ever an
Mm.
audience to be, I don't care. Like, I'm just like, I just like love music so much. I'll just
Yeah.
get out there and do whatever. I don't give a shit. But
Yeah.
like, if someone was to be intimidated by an audience, then that's probably the one to be intimidated
Mm.
by because they're all
Mm.
just like tough suicidal
are
crew, you know,
yeah.
like just a bit of everyone, but there's a bit of a rough knockabout crew in there too.
Yeah.
And like,
Mm.
I don't know, I was just excited.
I
and
didn't
they're
think
all
about
actually
that
so.
till after,
We did
which
it.
I'm glad. Like,
Well, yeah, because like they were just like crossed arms at the start. Looked in
Yeah.
the photos
even-
and stuff, and a few were just
Yeah.
like
yeah,
piss off, you know, like
Yeah.
put on suicidal, and then
but then they
we just won
won.
them over. They loved
I
us.
don't
Like
know.
we're just like
Well, like
We got a lot of
made
fans from it.
huge fans, and they
Yeah.
follow us around always. Still, like and they buy all them t-shirts and
if I think of
Thank-
suicidal
Yeah.
tendencies, I think of like, you know, like that heavy, thrashy, kind of like punk metal hybrid sort of stuff.
yeah,
But out of all the bands that do that, they're the most fun. They're very much
Yeah.
just like a
Mm.
fun kind of like
Yeah.
chill kind of band. Very like
yeah,
surfer, skater
Yeah, because the
kind of stuff.
the skating thing makes
Yeah.
them really like
It's like not
fun.
overly serious. And I think you guys like you have some serious songs, but your music is also very fun. It's
Mm.
very upbeat, very dancey, very kind of just
chill.
like
Mm.
shut up and get on with it kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like the Suicidal Tendencies fans would appreciate that kind of just like let's fucking
think
go.
they
it
do.
hit. Yeah,
yeah.
it actually worked. Thank God.
Because you're not
Yeah.
up there doing ballads, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're just kind
Yeah.
of ripping it into it, which
Yeah,
is
no, we
exactly
did
what I
play
wanted.
Shame, which is a ballad. So we were like, we're not going to play that one, but
They
I
get
just-
around,
they
keep that in
get
the pocket
around
for
that
later.
too, though.
they do like it.
Because we have a lot of them come to other shows
Yeah.
now, and like they put up with the softer stuff too,
Yeah,
and they like it. But yeah, yeah, I
No.
think that element works. Like what you're saying, I think like Mike, the singer, he's very like he's got pretty broad music taste, and he's very like I
Mm.
think he's quite talented at writing songs like
Yeah.
in whatever genre.
Yeah.
And they've got ballads too.
Yeah.
So like they're used to that. So, and he picked us for that tour, which is just crazy.
That's awesome.
It's just like
It's
nuts.
very, very,
Yeah.
very cool.
He just liked what we did, I guess, and put us on. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I could talk about that for days. It was such an amazing experience. I'm just so
yeah.
stoked that everyone was so welcoming and no one tried to fight me out the back. It's
Yeah.
great.
He gave us an opportunity, which is really
Huge. Yeah.
special. So.
It's a big thing in this
Mm.
industry to kind of like have that stuff kind of handed to you because like you work
Mm.
so much for everything else. So like when
Yeah.
you do get those like olive branches kind of
Yeah.
extended, you
Totally.
kind of just got to take them.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
Cool that it was a band to band olive
Yeah.
branch.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't like a industry like
There's no
You know.
industry curation with it. It was just like we applied for the support and then Mike went through the bands and liked us. And then we're good friends with like the crew now still and
That's
talk
so
to them all the
sick.
time and like
That's
it's
awesome.
stuff
It's
you don't
just so
think
nice.
would happen, but
No.
you're like, wow, that's cool.
That's
like,
why you do
want
this,
people to look
the-
through. You want the bands to pick the support bands out themselves.
the more
which
we
is
go through it,
cool.
that's what we like the most. Like less people involved and just like
Mm.
finding nice people. Like it's like just friendships and just bands we like and no weird stuff, you know,
Yeah.
for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
No weird shit.
No,
Just
absolutely.
like seeking authentic connections.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
absolutely.
generally
That's
speaking,
what it's all about.
That's good.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah.
Let's talk about the UK and Europe. You guys did, excuse me, the DIY or Die tour last year.
Yes.
I'm guessing that was like self-booked
Yeah.
and
Yes.
kind of you guys doing that
Yeah.
yourselves, hence the DIY.
'Cause,
Yeah.
How stressful was that? And how
Hold
fun?
me.
And how
Hold on,
and how
hold on.
fun was it?
Let's all hold.
when the questions are really good. I love it.
Yeah, you.
Well, kind of always been DIY booked anyway, but like
Mm.
that one was kind of like
We framed that one, I guess, like it was the
You can't-
first time we did a DIY tour. But
Yeah.
we've been booking ourselves from the get go. But
Mm.
I guess it's the first time we branded it like that.
it wasn't
So,
just branding.
do
It
you
was
reckon-
kind of out of not spite, but we kind of got stuffed around pretty hard
Yeah.
by
Right.
someone, which we're not going to talk about. But like
Sure.
it forced us into a position to book a 17-date Europe tour by ourselves a month
Yeah.
out.
Fuck.
and everyone would have just bailed on the idea. But
Yeah.
us being
But we-
absolute psychopaths
Yeah.
just decide to go, no, I want to go, I want to skip winter again. Like, so
Yeah.
We're
let's
both
go
pretty determined. Like we both have the same drive, and like we don't want to say no to things that we can't do.
Yeah.
I feel,
Mm.
which could be dangerous in a way.
Yeah.
Like normally there's that one
Yeah.
person that's like, no, this is not probably the smartest thing.
Yeah.
But we're both
Yeah.
like, nah, you say we can't do it, we'll do it. Like
Yeah, I'll move a mountain.
we both try, so we're both unhealthy for each
Yeah.
other. Like
But we managed to do it. It was
Yeah.
like,
people,
that's why I like DIY or die. It's like if you it's like if you don't do it, no one else will do it for you, you know? So like
mm,
you got to kind of just like shape
Yeah.
up. And like what was it, our friend Lindell, our late friend, she like she had like a promotion in London. She'd like a punk promotion, was like called DIY Thursdays.
yeah.
Mm.
And her little slogan was like, because you can't sit around waiting for shit to happen.
Mm.
You got to make it
Mm.
happen yourself.
Yeah,
basically.
absolutely.
So like
Yeah.
we've got so
She
like
passed away, bless her soul. But
Oh.
she was the coolest though. But like
wait,
yeah,
we've
DIY
got some
tats.
DIY tats. That's like the backstory.
That's lovely.
But
But yeah, like we use that. We already had that spirit in us, but like we
Yeah.
really like lean into it. Like so,
definitely no.
if something like instead of waiting, if there's any advice, not that I can have in a position to give it, but I'd be like, don't wait on people
No.
because like no one cares as much
and
as
it
you.
always kind of bites you in the ass. It's
Yeah.
like
Always.
you let down your guard and you're like, okay, that's sorted, and then you end up just having to do it yourself.
I think one
Yeah.
of the benefits of the way that the industry is now too is that like a lot of the traditional kind of like gatekeeper kind of positions have been kind of broken down, at least at some levels. So it's a lot easier now
Really?
to try
Yeah.
and like book a DIY
Mm.
tour
Yeah.
Yeah.
and have it
Yeah.
successful and
Yeah.
have people actually come to shows
Yeah.
than it
Yeah.
was probably 10 or 20 years ago. I mean, like people have been
Yeah.
doing DIY shit for
Mm.
decades,
Yeah.
but like it's
Yeah,
more
totally.
accessible to the
It
people who
is.
have the grit and determination to actually do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I wasn't
Mm.
booking shows like 20 years ago, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I just remember like
Probably
hearing
was
it-
harder.
I mean like Dillinger apparently Ben was like just making phone calls and booking tours on the
Actual
fly.
phone call?
Phone
Yeah.
calls
Wow.
before emails, but I don't know how hard that was compared to now. And
Yeah.
there's a lot like the
Mm.
oversaturation does make it harder.
Yeah.
So you really got to
Yeah.
hammer people on email.
Mm.
We're kind of
So it's
doing it out
hard.
of necessity though. Like it's not
Yeah.
that we want to be like, we can do it all on us by ourselves. Fuck everybody. Like
Yeah,
it's more like we haven't found the right team, or like
sure.
things haven't worked out, or we've just found doing it ourselves has brought us the most
Yeah.
success with the, I don't know, it's just the way it has fallen, I guess.
We're not gonna wait around. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically. But it'd be nice to have like some legend who we like
Yeah.
to help and
Legends are
take-
rare, but they're out
Yeah.
there. But
They're out there.
Yeah.
They
they're
exist.
there.
They're out there.
There's
Yeah, like a
legends.
No,
unicorn or
I
something.
can
A
definitely.
unicorn. They don't exist. Wait. No.
I can relate to that idea though, because like, especially with important things, like if there's a way for you to just do it yourself and know that like the buck stops with you and like
Yeah.
however much you put into something
Yeah.
is exactly how much you're going to get out of it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then you know you don't have that kind of like gnawing sense of like relying on someone else and they might
Oh,
fuck it
man.
up
And
and, they
that's what
might not come
happened, so-
through.
It's so
and-
stressful.
That's what happened
Yeah.
with that tour. And that's why we had that poster like a month before we went
Yeah.
to Europe.
yeah.
And that tour was awesome. Like
It went off.
people rocked up and it was fun.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we did it.
We landed
you know.
a show with Soulfly as well, which is just like
Yeah.
Sick.
we just like it's the biggest like come on man
Yeah.
or girl, whoever you were, like just like we pulled all of that out of our ass in just like less than a month.
Yeah.
And you land like shows like that and it's like you couldn't
You couldn't help us
It's-
out. You
it's
couldn't be a
just like-
legend. You had the
No,
opportunity
yeah,
to
I
be a
mean-
legend.
yeah,
and you
not that
fucked it
like
up.
we're deserving of it, but
Yeah,
it's like
no
it's, if you put some work in,
Yeah.
it's not hard.
We're not owed
Like,
anything, but it's just
It's disappointing.
more, yeah, don't want to get led on, I guess. And there's a lot of misleading things in the industry.
Sure.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have
Yeah.
your guard up. You have to be
Yeah.
able to kind of like protect your own interests first, and then when you find the legend, you let him
Yeah.
in.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we have,
Yeah.
we've got some-
I haven't thought about that in a long time. For the record,
Mm.
we're not actually salty about that, but it was,
No,
at
no,
the
we're not.
time it was just like that's how that tour
Yeah.
came about.
Sure.
You know, it was like
Yeah.
it was out of necessity.
And
Yeah.
look, like like you say, Dan, like you could have been like, we're a month out, things are falling apart, let's just not do it. And you would have
Yeah.
been probably like a couple of $1,000 better off.
Yeah.
But instead, you
More.
persevered, did the
Mm.
shows.
Yeah.
Shows were great.
Yeah.
Made
Oh, it's
new
amazing.
fans, new
Yeah.
audiences. Like all of that shit is
Yeah.
the stuff
Yeah.
that's like what you're doing it for.
Yeah, we get to explore France and like eat
Yeah,
heaps of
exactly.
croissants and meet heaps of cool people.
I didn't
and
want to let these people down too. Like,
Yeah.
we actually have fans over there
Yeah,
as
we-
well.
Yeah.
So
and I feel like it's important to go every year because, you know, it may go quick for us because we're so busy, but like for them,
It's like a once a year thing.
if you don't go back every
Yeah,
year,
true.
it's like
Yeah.
they forget you, or they,
Yeah.
you know, they don't have that connection with your band.
Yeah, well,
or
you're
you
not a
don't have that
local band
connection
over
with
there.
them.
You're the international, like,
Yeah.
touring band, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah.
reverse of all the shit that we get here.
But I guess we're only playing like one Melbourne show a year now as well. So it's actually like we've become the international band everywhere.
Two this year.
Two. Well, now it'd be two.
Two.
Citizens of the world.
With
Yeah.
Toe,
that- actually, a band thought we were from England because we tour that much.
Wow.
They were like, I
Yeah.
thought you were from England. I was
yeah,
like,
people,
"I
we just don't have a
think
home
I
anymore. We're
am."
homeless.
Transient.
Yeah,
Transient
literally.
band.
I think we're giving love back to Melbourne now, which is
trying
good, our
to.
hometown.
I'm trying to. My
Um,
little sister was like, "Why don't you ever play here?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "I don't know."
Because we're busy.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
busy.
and it's only started to kind of be rewarding now, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, selling
which
out
is, you know-
Northcote Theatre is pretty sick.
Oh, social club theatre would be
Social
insane.
club,
Yeah.
sorry, my
One
mistake.
day.
I
No,
was
not
gonna
to
let- I
correct,
was gonna
but I was
let
like,
that slide.
we're not that big.
let that slide.
Yeah, Northcote Social Club
Northcote
is
Theatre.
still a bucket list dream to be
Yeah,
able
it's
to do
still
that.
sick.
And that was a really special night. There was like
Yeah, it was. So
everyone's
special.
come in like in heaps of mannequin shirts and like
Over the
dancing,
years, yeah.
singing, moshing. People jumped up on the stage.
People
Like
sing the lyrics is the biggest like heartwarming thing because
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, like
they knew the
how did
album.
you-
They
What
knew it.
started out as a voice memo from Siri
I know.
is now being sung and screamed back in my
She's going to
face.
be asking for like,
royalties.
royalties.
That's
yeah,
right.
totally.
shut up.
I'm
Yeah.
sure Apple's working on that as we speak.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Don't
Oh,
worry
yeah.
about it.
Covered in more haze, running grime and dirt, and I can't seem to find the words to keep me honest. I can't seem to find the words. Keep me honest. I can't seem to find the words.
Final note while we're talking about touring stuff. I saw references to a show that you played in India around the Himalayas. Tell me more about that.
Well, credit to the person we're
Yes.
talking about. They did get us that, which
Okay.
was great.
Yes.
Which was just
No,
like
we were-
incredible. So we
thought
appreciate
was an
that, but
awesome one.
wasn't really anything else. But that yeah, I'm not going to talk about that anymore. But,
No,
but credit where it's
cut these
due.
videos.
That was good.
Yeah, credit where it's due. That was an awesome thing to land in our laps, and we said
Yeah.
yes.
The idea
you
was
know.
to like go to India on the way home, quote
Okay.
unquote, on the way
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Wasn't really. It was a long journey. It was like 4 flights from London to Ziro
which
in
is like
northern
a tiny
India.
little village. Yeah,
Yeah. So like it was like a 40-hour journey.
and
Wow.
like
Really hot and
10-hour
rough.
bus ride.
We're supposed to have like a private taxi, and then like
It makes
got
us sound like
taken-
divas, but
it's just a car, but it's
Yeah,
like it was
yeah.
taken by someone, and then like we're just in this like
I don't know, squashed up
crowded bus
like,
with
yeah.
chickens and all, like as you can imagine,
Yeah.
rural India would be like.
Yeah.
And then it was like really
We,
hot.
we had no sleep and like
No sleep,
sweating,
jet-lagged.
and we were like, oh, we just need to get to that bed. And I think by the time we got there, we could only rest for a little bit, and
Yeah.
then had to go sound check and play. So it was quite a quick. And then there was a rave, and then we were on the plane again, and we got sick, and it was a big package.
it was a military state too.
Wow.
So like, imagine like we needed 2 visas. Imagine like military checkpoints, like
It was a-
there's
Because like
security.
northern India is like close to like,
China.
like Kashmir and stuff, right? Is like
I don't know where that is, but I like
that's
the
like
Saffron
the
song.
Is it the-
province that borders the Chinese border and stuff.
Yeah, so it's like the Indo-China relations have always been pretty tense, as I was told, and it's quite up there. We're in like the foothills of the Himalayas, which is like the border,
which
Yeah.
is
or
also
part of it or
beautiful.
whatever. So stunning, but they've got all like the special forces basically roaming the area because it's contested land between
That's
India
right,
and
yeah.
China.
Yeah.
So
lots of guns.
we'll just chuck a music festival in the middle of that. Why not? And
Yeah.
send some Aussies in. But we're 10 hours away from like where like shots being exchanged
Yeah,
every now
shit.
and then. So it was pretty heavy,
There were
but
like whistles after the show, like so we had to like get out.
there was like it's like once the show was
Wasn't
over,
that
it's like
scary, but like
get out, like, and
Yeah.
we're like,
you listen to those whistles, like the security guards.
and the security all like got like rifles and stuff. So it's like
Yeah.
pretty hectic.
Positives. What's the
No, it's cool. I thought it was
positives
awesome.
now?
I thought it was exciting. It's like that Monsters of Rock, like
Yeah.
Metallica, Pantera concert, but
Yeah,
without all
yeah.
the beatings. So that was good. I was thankful for that. So I thought I was singing punk songs in like a military state. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, do I like muffle
True,
some of the
yeah.
lyrics and stuff? Because a few of them are like anti-authority. Not that I'm generally anti-authority all the time, but a few of them specifically with that. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do this because they've got a shoot first, ask questions later policy
Yeah,
up
that
there.
was
So I was like,
weird.
nah, I did it anyway. But I was like,
Yeah.
this might be the end of me. But
But it was so cool because like they all kind of like listened to our music before we played it, and there wasn't much of a lead up to playing it. I think it was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
or
yeah,
a month
no, they
or
put us
something.
on like we got on Rolling Stone India.
Oh, that helped.
So everyone,
Yeah.
we like headlined this festival, like 4,000 or 5,000 people. And they all were
It's our
like going
biggest
nuts,
gig
like we're Motley
so
Crue,
far.
and they knew all the songs. I was like, what?
That's so
It
crazy.
was amazing.
Yeah.
That's the biggest show we've ever done, and they
Yeah.
actually knew the songs. We had
I know.
awesome, like,
Wow.
projector and light show, and like this huge bamboo open
Yeah.
air stage. It was just
Everything
like
was made out of bamboo. It was so cool.
it was
That's crazy.
literally
so
incredible.
cool.
So very
That's like
thankful for
biggest
getting that
stage,
show.
yeah.
Everyone involved.
It's like bucket list shit, but like stuff you couldn't even like put on the bucket list.
Yeah, it was so random.
Yeah, right.
We just like we'll add it to the end of the tour, the
Yeah.
UK tour, and it was just like. But then it was like we got really sick, and like by the time we finish, we don't eat before we play for
Mhm.
like 5 hours.
Smart.
Because it makes you sick, and we're jumping around like idiots.
Yeah.
So it's like
No time for burps.
no.
Got a lot of lyrics to get
Yeah.
out. No
By
time
the
for
by
burps.
the,
tank.
by the time we finished the show, all the food was gone, and we're in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
So like all we got was like a bottle of whiskey. Go to this rave in this like old Chinese
that
Indo
was fun.
bunker area
That was
forest.
the best crazy. I've never been to.
Best rave, but
I haven't been to many raves, but like that was crazy. They
that was sick.
decked
Yeah,
it out with like
can
these
party.
like octopus origami and like all these
like jellyfish.
jellyfish. Yeah.
It's like glowing jellyfish in this forest, and there's
Maybe
like
there
this
wasn't any
Indochina
glowing
bunkers, like,
jellyfish.
and just like drinking whiskeys. That's all we got, and then like we had to like leave, go home the next day. So just hungover, starving, and also got sick, like stomach sick. So
But
that was a
yeah.
rough exit out of the country and return home.
Mm.
Nearly didn't make it.
Once again, very
was
high,
worth it.
high,
Low,
very low, low.
Yeah, and like the
Yeah.
people, the border force, like in Kolkata in India, were not letting us in. They didn't like my
What?
tattoos.
Yeah.
They were just
Oh yeah.
He was just like, you know, where you go in to like drop your bags and like you
Mhm.
get your boarding passes and stuff.
Mm.
He was just like, nah. I was like, what? It's like, we need, he's like, nah, you can't you
Yeah.
come back in 4 hours. It's like, but the flight's got to be there. And they're like, I was like, okay. And then we went, came back, and then he just like, nah, again. And then like holding like his pistol on his side and that. And I was like, are you fucking serious? And then sometimes people just don't like you. And
Yeah.
then like there's this other guy, and I was like to this other guy, I was like, hey, I was trying also not to get shot.
Mm.
Like,
Dan.
seriously, that's what's going on. And then like this
Yeah.
other guy was like, hey, like we need to catch our flight. And he's like looking at him, and he's like rolled his eyes.
Mm.
This guy's like obviously a problem. And he's like distracted him and quickly ushered us through. And I was
Nice.
like, oh my God.
Mm.
Like imagine being stuck here forever.
Mm.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Bit scary.
It was worth it though. It was
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like a once in a lifetime
a
thing.
big ass festival.
Good. Yeah. I don't want to endure that journey. It hit 50 degrees on the drive home.
Yeah.
Dan, it doesn't sound like you want to go back.
I loved it. But all right.
yeah.
Look, we've just crossed over an hour, so let's wrap up the main show.
No worries.
What is next for Mannequin Death Squad? What do you have coming up?
True.
Let's do some plugs. You got second Melbourne show for the year
Yes.
in June.
Yep.
Yeah, the second show from the sellout.
The follow up from the Northcote Social gig. We
Mhm.
have the tote on the 28th
Eighth.
of June.
Yes,
The tote.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
that's gonna be fun.
And then
Yeah.
we've got the Europe tour, which is cool.
Yes.
Which will be announced soon. But we are jumping on some shows with DZ Deathrays and Press Club, which
Yes.
is cool as
I
well.
saw the press club stuff
Yeah.
come through this morning, I think. I got a presser in my
Yeah.
inbox about that. So
Oh, cool.
I know
Yeah.
that there's some stuff
Nice.
coming through.
Yeah, we got like 3 Europe shows with Press Club.
Mhm.
What's that? Like 2 German and 1 in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we've got like 6 or so shows with DZ Deathrays in the UK.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
And then
Then we'll have our headline in
we're
Europe
about to drop it,
and
so it'll
UK.
be out
Yeah.
by the time this goes out. But yeah,
True.
we're doing our own UK run and own Europe run as well through that across the channel like
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
too many times. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, you're already there.
We're already
Fuck it.
there. Why not? And then we're playing Rebellion Festival.
Mm.
August.
August something.
Yeah.
be
And
fun.
I don't know. We'll probably have some more cool stuff to come.
In
We
the
just
works.
don't know
Yeah.
yet what it will be, but always some form of cool content.
It's
We
all
love
there.
our music videos, so
Okay.
there'll be probably more content soon.
It's all been
For
leading up to
sure.
the album release and then
Yeah.
touring Australia, then touring
Yeah.
Europe, and then
Yeah.
maybe do some more videos. Or
We
something.
tend to go really quiet or really like blah, 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 and get everything out there, all the content. But at the moment, yeah,
Been quite busy.
just a little quiet because we just had this massive push. And
Which is understandable. And
Yeah.
you've got a bunch of stuff coming
Yeah.
up anyway. So, like, got to take
Yeah.
a breather for a little bit
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
you get right back into it.
Maybe we'll see what happens.
yeah, watch this space.
Still, we got some more videos we want to do for the album, so we'll probably get into that when we get a chance.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sick. All right. Well, let's wrap up the main show there. We'll also get into some Patreon stuff in a little bit.
Mhm.
So if people want to check that out, they can jump over to the Patreon and do that. But Dan, Ellie, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much.
No worries.
It's been awesome.
Thanks for having us. So
Cheers.
much fun.
Hello, Owen popping in to say, please sign up for the TPD Patreon. This is what helps us keep the lights on and keep the show going. The link is at the bottom of your screen right now, patreon.com/TPD pod. All of our patrons get exclusive access to side B of our roundup episodes, so you get a few extra tracks, as well as our feature album discussion and the full show experience. Our patrons also get exclusive access to behind the scenes, off the cuff chit chat from all of our guest episodes. But the patrons are the ones who make all of this happen. For as little as $5 a month, you can sign up to the TPD Patreon, and it really helps us out, really helps us keep the show going. So shout out to all of our patrons, shout out to our executive producer patrons. You're the real ones. And yeah, thank you so much for watching the show.